Role models are essentially heroes in your niche. This can be a famous person or stories about anyone that you find particularly inspiring. And this section is optional, but it is very powerful when applied, and we do use this role model entry in several very important content emails. And I'm going to show you why I picked the role model I did. Now, you can pick whoever you want. Again, it could be someone famous. It can be someone that it could be your mom. It could be anyone. But you want to tell their story from a position of before and after. In other words, they weren't always successful. It's very similar to how you set up your own rapport story. You weren't always the success that you are today. You started at a lower point and now you're here. Well, likewise, your role model should have a similar story. So my role model, and one of my many role models for weight loss, is Dave Asprey. And Dave is the CEO of Bulletproof Copy and a friend of mine. And I'm going to say, and for good reason, and I'm going to enter his before story here. So I've typed this out already. Dave is the CEO of Bulletproof Copy. He's a good friend of mine. However, he wasn't always a beacon of health. Many years ago, he was extremely overweight and struggling with numerous illnesses. And I'm going to enter this as the after story. I'm going to expand this window and note that you can use paragraphs here. It's no problem. Just make sure you don't have any paragraphs at the end and remove that last period. So in this period too. Then I tell why his approach appealed to me and he became a role model. His approach to nutrition takes advantage of intermittent fasting and refeed days, and that's what I believe in my own books. So that's what inspired me. And also the fact that he kept the weight off, leading a very busy life. So I end with a quote from Tony Robbins. You can make this as inspiring as you want to make it. Now, I'm going to save this entry, and you can enter more than one role model. But for time's sake, I'm just going to enter one. I'm going to show you what this looks like inside of an email. First, I'm going to show you a simple version. When it comes to weight loss, there are things I don't know. Hard to believe, I know, right? So again, we're really into rapport. We want your prospect to feel like you are only a slight bit above them, but certainly above them enough to listen to them, not some lofty expert that they can never emulate. I got to where I am today by role modeling success stories like Dave Asprey and others. Now, I distilled their wisdom the best I could. Now, that's all I say in this particular email. I just mentioned his name. Now I'm going to show you the storyline where it's unfolded entirely in an email. So this is a great email for building rapport, and it uses the role models here in a very effective way, and it uses the entire story. Most of what I learned to get where I am came from connecting with others. And by the way, this is an email that prompts your prospects to opt into your social media pages, or you can opt in anywhere, but to follow you. That's the idea. Let me share a quick story about how this kind of groupthink helped me get to where I am today. One of my key influences early on was Dave Asprey, and I just told Dave's entire story right here. Of course, it reads exactly as I wrote it. Now, while folks like Dave Asprey may not be in my inner circle, there are a lot of fitness lovers who are. It's interesting that Dave actually is in my inner circle, but just in case I said someone super famous like Oprah, right? And the whole idea there is it's called positioning. You're positioning yourself alongside someone well-known or someone successful. Now, the role models work better when you use someone famous rather than my mom, for example. But it would work here. While folks like my mom may not be in my inner circle, that doesn't read as well as folks like Oprah or Dave Asprey or whomever. So you might want to consider entering more than one role model just in case you want to change it inside these emails.